Should be going live pretty soon here now, guys. We should probably be live right about now. We are. I can see my smiling, beautiful face. Smiling back. I mean, not all that beautiful, but still. Anyways, guys. Hello, guys. This is What About Nintendo today. I'm here for another coffee talk today. We'll be talking about a lot of new stuff, including Sakurai talking about his experience in developing Super Smash Bros. And other games at Nintendo, and tons of new info and just discussions and interviews about Nintendo's new president, Shuntaro Furukawa. So there's a lot of information to go over today, so we're just going to drink some delicious coffee and get it started. But we're going to start with some smaller topics. Oh my gosh, this song, bro. This is from Xenoblade, isn't it? It's not. From Fire Emblem Awakening. Fire Emblem, I gotta give it to you. You got some good music. Damn. I thought that was from Xenoblade. Xenoblade's like my favorite soundtrack. That moment when you just get hit by a song on a playlist and you're just like, I just gotta talk about it in Coffee Talk. That's why I like Coffee Talks, because you don't really have to be super, you don't always have to keep it onto the topics. We can just talk about random things sometimes. But we do have a lot of topics to go over, so we're going to start with the first one. So first off, if I can find the picture here. Luigi's Mansion is being remade on the 3DS. This isn't actually the picture, but I thought this was a lot cooler than the one they had for Luigi's Mansion. And it was a lot easier to find, which is nice because it's very early in the morning. Not a lot of time to do prep work. But Luigi's Mansion developers is actually not Next Level, who had worked on Dark Moon, which you saw that picture of. It's actually Grezzo, who developed Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask 3D, Triforce Heroes, and Ever Oasis. So they did a lot of work in the Zelda franchise and in their own original title, and now they're the ones in charge of remaking Luigi's Mansion. A lot of people thought it would be level 5 because they did Dark Moon, and Grezzo doesn't really do Luigi's Mansion, at least they didn't. But no, it is actually Grezzo. So some people have been speculating, hey, I wonder what Next Level is working on, or level 5. I don't remember if it's Next Level or level 5. One of those companies, their names are so freaking similar. But what if they're working on Luigi's Mansion 3 for Nintendo Switch? Some people have been speculating this. I don't know if it's true. If it is true, that'd be absolutely amazing. If it is true, I don't think it'll be coming out this year, man. So I already think we're getting Animal Crossing. I think we're getting Pokemon. We're getting Smash. We know that for sure. Fire Emblem, Yoshi. Maybe that's another surprise. They could fit that in there. A Luigi's Mansion 3. I'd be super down for it. But I mean, why release Luigi's Mansion this year if you're going to remake the original on 3DS? That just doesn't make too much sense. That would just kill the 3DS version. So I definitely don't think it's coming out this year, actually, now that I think about it in that way. But they could be working on it. Who knows? I'd be down for it. I just hope it's closer to the original. Not in the fact that it has... The original I liked was one big mansion. And the other ones were kind of like level-based and mission-based. I didn't really mind that there were more mansions. It was more like the fact that since there were more mansions, it was very level-based. And it was very, very linear. I want a less linear experience. Well, even the original was pretty linear. So, like, even less linear than the original. So, something super open-ended. But yeah, Grezzo is developing the 3DS remake for Luigi's Mansion. Not that big of a deal. So, let's move on to another very quick topic we'll go over real quick. Nintendo, oh, that's what that is. Nintendo, this one. Nintendo has showed 2 more Octo expansion concept arts. I have 2 things labeled Octo expansion, and they was looking for the right one. 2 more Octo expansion concept arts. You can see the one here, and you can see the one here. Nothing huge, nothing major, nothing super duper revealed. Maybe if you analyzed this and you figured out what these inkling, or these, I don't even know what octopus were saying, you could find out some super secret hidden part of the game, but nah, probably nothing here really. It just looks cool, so I'll let you guys look for it for a bit. But yeah, just short topic, I just wanted to show you guys that. I think it looks cool. It's got like an interesting backpack design. Very different from the other ones. I like the octopus design. Who knew an octopus could be so sexy? I'm just kidding. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. And that is something that I personally am not too fantastically thrilled about, but let's just get into it. Nintendo firmly believes Nintendo Switch and Nintendo 3DS can coexist together. I feel like Nintendo 3DS is like a trigger word. It's like, you want to get somebody triggered, mention the 3DS. They'll be like, how dare Nintendo support the 3DS? And I was totally like that. But now I'm just like, well, actually, they're not really putting that much effort into it, so I don't really care. It makes them money. They'll put all the money into the Switch. It's not like anybody big is working on anything for the 3DS. But Kimishima, you know, we already know that they wanted it to go 2019 and beyond, but he had even more to say about the 3DS and the Nintendo Switch coexisting. And here's his quote. Actually, I had a 3DS picture. Boom! Consumers purchased the 3DS systems in numbers we expected last fiscal year. Is that higher than you expected or just you expected? Interesting. I thought that would have been higher than you expected. Man, they expected a lot. It has an ample software lineup at a price point that makes the system affordable, especially for parents looking to buy for their kids. Excuse me for that. I was trying to make sure the music, it looked a little bit too loud on my end. I'm not sure. You guys can let me know. We expect the demand to continue during this fiscal year as well, so we will continue to sell the product. Given that Nintendo Switch is a home gaming system that can take on the go, the situation may change if it grows from being one per household or system to one per person system. But the price of the Nintendo Switch is not something which most parents would buy a system for every one of their children in a short period of time. Moving forward, we will work to ascertain what kinds of play people want at which price points. As long as there is such demand, we will continue to sell the 3DS system. I see the product coexisting with Nintendo Switch at this point in time. Which makes sense. I totally understand. Like, you can get a... I think we mentioned this in the podcast we do on Andre's Restarts channel on Mondays. But you can get a 3DS, like if you look for one, like a 2DS, you get like 60 to 70 bucks, and it comes with a game that was like 60 when it came out. So pretty much they're handing these things out. They might as well be handing these things out alongside games. Like, because you're getting them the same price as like a Switch game, or like Labo is the same price as an entire system. So, like, 3DS is so cheap. You can get it so cheap. Like, even the most expensive ones are like 160 to 180 bucks. So, like, you can get them so cheap, like half the price or way less, like even a quarter of the price of a Nintendo Switch. So that makes sense. You just get, you know, you can get 4 3DSs for the price of one Switch. So, I mean, that makes more sense. And the Switch, yeah, it is kind of more of a one per household thing at the moment, as you can have different files. I feel like the main thing that makes 3DSs and stuff one per person is because, like, it's just more hassle. You want to play the games by yourself, and it's cheap. Like, I don't know. It's so easy to make more save files for like a Switch than it is for like the 3DS. It's a hassle. You can only have like one me per 3DS, so they kind of like shoehorn the fact that you should probably have more 3DSs into that thing. Like, even at a UI level, you feel like you should have more than one 3DS. On a Switch, you feel like you can have as many people on that thing as you want. But, I mean, it is portable, so that's nice. You can just take it anywhere you want. And since it's portable, you don't have to have that many TVs. You can just, like, a lot of people just have, like, 1 or 2 TVs. So, like, you can't, and they, you know, you'd have 4 or 5 people in a house or more. In my case, many more. You don't have that many TVs. You can't all play at the same time. But you can if you have a Nintendo Switch, because they're all the same, or a 3DS, all the same screen, which I think makes it even more of something that could be one per person system. So I'm already thinking about getting multiple Nintendo Switches myself. I just wish I could afford them, wish they were cheaper in that way, so that I could afford them. But I mean, it makes sense. The tech is so much better than, say, a 3DS. It just makes sense. But yeah, I totally understand what they mean. It's so cheap, people are just gonna buy it. And there's so many good games. Like, I've been playing Pokemon Sun and Moon, Fire Emblem Awakening, Fantasy Life, Animal Crossing, Bravely Default is one I want to get. I really want to get into that. Probably after I beat Pokemon or something like that, I'll get into that. I have a bunch of RPGs I want to play on that system. It's just an RPG haven, so I understand why it's still selling. It's just, at first I was annoyed because they were actually making games for it with their first-party studios, but they're not really making any games with their first-party studios anymore. Like, nobody that's making, you know, a mainline Zelda for the Switch or anything like that. So, hey, Tiny Ass Gamer, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're just talking about the 3DS, which is like the most taboo word in the industry, but I understand why it's selling. I don't personally care to go buy another one with the Citra emulator out, but I understand that has a great backlog. It's super affordable, and it's just great for kids. So as long as Nintendo just keeps their first-party studios off of this, don't put any major development time into this that's taken away from my precious Nintendo Switch, then I'll be good. Let's move on to the next one. One of the bigger or more exciting ones is actually that Sakurai, if I can pull up the picture I'm looking for here. Here it is. Sakurai, the developer of Super Smash Bros., also the creator of Kirby, if I'm not mistaken, and the person who made Kid Icarus Uprising, which is an amazing game. Really hope he makes a sequel after he makes Smash Brothers on the Nintendo Switch. The person currently doing Smash Brothers on Nintendo Switch. Hey, Nintendcraft, what's up, my guy? What is up, bro? Drinking coffee, having a good coffee talk, just talking about some great stuff. It's a good day. It's a good morning. Hope you're having a good morning or afternoon or whatever time zone it is for you. My voice, though, is like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's very dead right now for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, Sakurai, one of my favorite developers at Nintendo, has talked about his development time, not very extensively, but he talked a little bit about the long hours he's worked making these amazing games. It's 11:14 a.m. for you. That's the same time it is for me. So we are in the same time zone. Dude, my man. Dope. So he was interviewed by Famitsu, and here is what he had to say. He said, in the game industry, there's a lot of overtime, all-nighters, and coming in on holidays. It's a practice that's been occurring for a long time. That's suddenly changed in recent years, though. Actually, if you look at other companies and myself, 10 p.m. is when everyone goes home. Or rather, maybe we're getting shut out. If I go to work at 10 a.m., I usually spend about 10 hours working each day. In the past, it wasn't that uncommon to work till 1 or 2 in the morning, so compared to those days, I'm taking it easy. This makes so much sense. Like, have you ever heard it's like a thing now. Every time Sakurai finishes a Smash, he's like, I never again. I never want to do a Smash again. And it makes sense. The dude works like 14-hour days on Smash, and people were like, I never understand that people are like, making games is easy. All you have to do for your life is make video games. You have such an easy job. It's like, well, actually, no. He probably works more than you. All these people that are 9-to-5 jobs, like, oh, man, can't believe I have to work at McDonald's when people getting to make video games. Except they're working 12 to 14 hours in these video games. It's very technical work. It may be fun a lot of the time, but it's not fun all the time. And you know, when you have to work this long, you get tired. A lot of people, they work 8 to 10 hour days, and they're just like, oh man, work so much, it's so tired. Don't have time for anything. It's just like my boy Sakurai over here working 12, 14-hour days. He's over here like 10 hours, man. That's like that's like they're cutting me some slack. That's like they're giving me a break. That's practically vacation, working 10 hours a day. And like I don't even work 12 to 14-hour days. Like I usually worked 8 to 10-hour days, and I consider that a long time working on YouTube every day. So like my boy Sakurai over here, I can't even remember the saying. The man, the myth, the legend. There we go. This is when you know it's early in the morning, folks. The man, the myth, the legend. My boy Sakurai over here working ridiculous hours to get us that Smash Brothers, to get us that Kid Icarus Uprising. Man, I really hope he makes another one. I feel like that's what he really wants to work on, is a Kid Icarus game or something non-Smash. But he's working 10-hour days over here on Smash Brothers. You guys better recognize and realize what your boy over here does for you. If Toad is in Super Smash Brothers, I'll play. Nice. Have you seen Game Explain's video on it? I heard they made one about Toad being in Smash. Some kind of judge thing. I haven't watched it. I heard them talk about it on the podcast. This is when you know I don't care about plugging my competition. Anyways. Enough about my boy Sakurai. He's a myth. He's a legend. He's my bro. He's amazing. But we actually have a lot to talk about in these next couple segments. So let's move on. I just want you guys to recognize and realize, as my family would say, how amazing he is. Let's talk about some interviews that we had for a lot of different things, actually. Most of them involving the new president of Nintendo. So, Nintendo president Tatsumi Kimishima, current president, about to step down in June, says this about Furukawa, who he has apparently been handpicked as the next president. So he says this: Furukawa was chosen as the new president because he knows how to get the most out of developed teams, and he spent the last 2 years mapping out Nintendo's future. So this isn't just some out of the blue thing. Like, this feels to us as you know, consumers, it feels very like out of the blue. Like, he's just suddenly stepping down. He's just like, he saw an opportunity. He's like, yep, I'm stepping down. I'm just announced it. It felt like super quick. Like, he's stepping it out in June. But no, this is something that's been planned for apparently the 2 years that Tatsumi has been in office. This dude's been planned from the start. Ever since Iwata unfortunately passed, R.I.P., my good man Iwata, and Tatsumi came in, he was already looking at Furukawa as the next predecessor, as the next president of Nintendo, which isn't something I expected. I expected, you know, a couple months, maybe a year, but the entire time, this dude's been mapping out the future of Nintendo, and Kimishima has been good with it. Some people are like, oh no, Kimishima's leaving, this new guy's gonna mess everything up. Well, but except Tatsumi Kimishima's the one who's been mentoring him for 2 years and picked him as the president, so I don't think we have anything to worry about. I think it's even better than I thought. Like, I already thought the guy was probably going to do good, but to know he's been for the last 2 years mapping out Nintendo's future, like getting ready, like this isn't just some kind of quick-shotted job where they just kind of throw a new president in there because Tatsumi's just done. No, they've been training this dude up. You probably play as an Inkling in Super Smash Brothers. I will play as an Inkling. I'll main an Inkling, at least for a little bit. I'll try my best. I've never bought a Super Smash Brothers game. Really? You have been missing out, my friend, on an amazing series. Even though Smash 4 is probably my least favorite one, just because it felt like there was no single-player content. The multiplayer was very basic. There was a lot of characters, but they didn't really feel amazing. I don't know. It wasn't my best. It wasn't the best. A lot of the stages felt pretty lame. Some of the stages were really fun to play on, and that's when I was like, yes, this is Smash. But some of them were just like, this is boring as frick. Hello, Azrith Asru. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. You've never bought a Smash Brothers game either? Guys, if you have computers, go download an emulator, GameCube emulator, an N64 emulator, or a Wii emulator. Or if you have access to those systems, download yourselves a Smash game and play it. Don't expect it to be as good as the actual games, because obviously you're emulating it. There can be bugs and glitches, and probably won't run as well. But go play yourself some Smash, please. Go grab a couple friends, emulate that game, or get some hardware, and go play a Smash Brothers game, because you're missing out on an amazing experience. Like, honestly, I don't, it's people not played Smash. Oof. How? That blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. Anyways, let's move on to the next topic. And that's pretty much, it's actually, all these next 4 topics we're going to flow into one, because they're all interviews on Nintendo's president. So, in this one, Tatsumi Kimishima explains why he's stepping down as Nintendo's president, and why Mr. Furukawa is going to be the president. So, this is what Tatsumi had to say. I was asked about my duties when I took over as president when Nintendo Switch was still in development. And one of my biggest responsibilities at the time was to launch that platform and to get it to consumers just as we had envisioned. Or more so as I had envisioned. My second role was to change our directorial structure to speed up decision making and execution on a variety of projects that members of the management team were considering at the time. It takes people to support that, and it was essential that we build a structure that allowed the new generation to play an active role. As we progressed with delegating authority, including the authority for corporate governance, we created a system where our younger senior management would be able to act. In the past 2+ years, they have shown what they are capable of accomplishing. Our latest financial results are far better than I even originally forecasted. And talking about Tatsumi here, obviously not me. Which speaks to the fruits of our efforts to date. My successor, Mr. Furukawa, worked with me as general manager of the corporate planning department to advance our operations. He's fleshed out what this non-traditional collective leadership system we created will be. So I believe this is the perfect time for a change of presidency. With the breadth of projects we are working on, now is the time to transfer power further to people and to promote a generational shift to bring strong momentum to Nintendo through these changes. So yeah, as I said earlier, Mr. Furukawa has been working with Tatsumi. Apparently he's the general manager of a corporate planning department. So he's been over here just working away, pretty much just training to become the president for the past 2 years. So as I said, this isn't just them shoehorning a new president in here. This dude's been training for a while in order to get it done right. You tried a demo? Dude, the demo's not enough. You gotta play more. You don't play Smash because of Pokemon? What? But they're two completely... What? You don't play... What? I'm confused. Utterly... kerfuffled right now. I'm what? You don't play Smash Brothers because of You don't play Smash Brothers because there's Pokemon in them? Or you don't play Smash Brothers because there are Pokemon games? Neither of those would make sense, but I'm trying to figure out which one you're talking about, because neither of those things make any sense to me. They don't make sense to me. Maybe they make sense with your explanation, but in my head right now, trying to I even understand what you're just trying to say. My mind is blown. Oh my gosh, I am so confused. Hope I'm not coming across as rude or anything. I'm just literally confused. I'm so astounded that I think the universe is going to explode if I try to think about this anymore. You don't play Smash because I play Pokemon games more than Smash. Okay, so it's that one. That still makes no sense because they're two completely different genres of game and have nothing to do with each other. Yeah, that makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. You play Pokemon so much that you literally don't have time for anything else but Pokemon, so you can't play Smash. Is that what you're trying to say? You just play Pokemon 24 hours a day? Is that how this works? Oh my gosh, my mind is blown right now. I don't understand. I guess each their own, but that I'd understand if you don't enjoy Smash Brothers, but your explanation of the fact that you don't play Smash Brothers because you play Pokemon just doesn't make sense it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. Anyways, now we're going to get into another interview. There's a lot of interviews here. This one is actually from the new president, Shintaro Furukawa, and he's explaining his vision for Nintendo. So, here we go. Earlier we were talking about Tatsumi's vision for Furukawa, now we're talking about Furukawa's vision for Nintendo. So he says, the one thing we must never forget when running Nintendo is that we are a company that makes entertainment products and playthings, not necessities. It is a business where our mere existence could be quickly forgotten if consumers stop considering our products to be fun and interesting. No matter how the era or the environment changes, the essence of our business will not change. It is a high-risk business. There will be times when business is good and times when business is bad, but I want to manage the company in a way that keeps us from shifting between joy and despair. As for the question of what kind of company I want to make of Nintendo, this is a company that continues to be an integrated hardware and software business in the world of dedicated video game platforms. We work hard to keep the odds of success in our favor, but there are times when things go well and times when they do not. This is a high-risk business by its very nature, and that will not change. But we need to be a company that continues to ask ourselves what we can do to maintain our relationships with consumers and how we can leverage our ingenuity to mitigate the risk even a little bit and never come to the conclusion that there is nothing we can do. So I find this very interesting. Obviously, it brings up the fact that video game is a very high-risk business. I mean, just look at the Wii U. The Wii was one of the best-selling consoles of all time. In fact, I'm pretty sure it made, if I'm not mistaken, it actually made more revenue than the PS2. I might be mistaken on that, but that's just, maybe it was the 3DS, the DS and the Wii combined, like that era made more revenue than PlayStation. I'm not really sure about that exactly, but they went from one of the, like, the highest of highs, almost the best of the best, to one of the worst of the worst, like with the Wii U. So obviously it's a high-risk business. They make one mistake, everyone murders you. I mean, the Xbox 360 was killing it, and the PlayStation 3 was just dead in the water. And then all of a sudden, the Xbox One, PS4 comes out. PS4 is like, I'm all pro-consumer, look at me. Xbox hates you. And then Xbox One just flops. The entire generation flops. I mean, look, the PS2 to the PS3. I mean, it's just like, this is a very high-risk business, obviously. So, I think he's kind of saying that he wants to keep a consumer focus. He seems like, he said he wants to maintain a relationship with consumers and leverage their ingenuity. So what that means to me is that they want to keep good ties with consumers. They want to listen to consumers. They want to consult consumers to see what they want, what they enjoy, try to make it fun for them, not just make money, not just do whatever gets them the quick cash grab, but hurts them in the long run. He's thinking the long term. He wants the customers to have a say. He wants the customers to feel happy, because in the end, if they don't feel happy, they don't need Nintendo. We don't need Nintendo. We don't need video games. We don't. And there are other options too, like PlayStation. I have a PlayStation right here. There are other options. So we do not need Nintendo. In fact, they say that they need us. So I think this is them kind of, the president realizes that he needs to listen to the consumers. They need to be creative. They need to be fun. They need to focus on more entertainment focused instead of business focused. While being business focused, this man has a lot of business, you know, background. He also understands that it's not all business. It's all about fun. It's all about entertainment. It's all about keeping the consumers first and keeping things fun and interesting and creative. So I personally like this statement a lot. I think it kind of, maybe I'm interpreting it the way I want to interpret it. I'm reading in between the lines a lot here, but this is just what I got from the statement. What do you guys think about all this? Oh, a bunch of comments just came in while I was reading that. Alright, let me go back and read them all. So, except for Pokken Tournament, the other games are other genres. That's true. Pokken Tournament. Maybe you play a bunch of Pokken Tournament. But I just don't really view that as a mainline Pokemon game, so that wasn't what I was thinking about. But you're right, there's Pokken Tournament. But I think Fortnite will get announced for Switch at E3. I think Fortnite will get announced whenever they talk about their online service. That's when it's going to get announced. Maybe not the first time they talk about it, but they really blow it out of the water. They're going to announce it. So probably E3. Maybe early May, early this month is when they're supposed to be talking about it as well. Do I think, I read that. Same with the Octo expansion. You'll buy Smash as soon as it comes out. Nice. Is there any news about Pokemon Switch? Andres answers this. Nope, not yet. There's not. I imagine there will be this month, but no, there's not. Game Freak told in some direct or something like that. No, there's no Pokemon Direct yet. I imagine there'll be a Pokemon Direct this month, and a lot of other Pokemon specialists. I'm not a Pokemon specialist. I'm saying people who are not me, who are Pokemon specialists. I'm not a Pokemon specialist. Are saying that that'll probably happen as well. So yeah, it's still up in the air. Game Freak told him. Yep, I read that. My friends keep telling me PS4s are better. Xbox games are better. At what games? I'd like to ask. What Xbox One games? Because there are like none. Yeah, they are uneducated, in my opinion. I don't have a PS4 or Xbox One, but you're going to put a PS4 on your Christmas list later when it's more near Christmas. It is a good system, Andres. That is true. I have one right here. I was playing it just last night. I play it more than I play my Switch these days. Not really because it's a better system, just because I played Nintendo so many years that I haven't really had a chance to play PlayStation. I still love my Switch. I still probably prefer it over the PlayStation 4, but PlayStation 4 is also good. I was playing Uncharted 4 last night. That game is fun. That game is very fun and very beautiful. Also, Horizon Zero Dawn. Beautiful game. It's a beaut. Andres, you need to get Horizon if you have not played that. Oh, wait, no, you have Horizon. What am I talking about? You have that game. You're flipping ready for RDR 2? Ah, Red Dead Redemption 2. Yes, yes, yes. Nintendo has kids game. Every teenager. They do have kids games, but they have more games that are for everyone. But they also have M-rated games. I mean, they have Bayonetta and stuff like that, so... Let's go on to the final topic, guys, and then I'll read more of your questions. So, if you have any questions you want me to talk about, even just life stuff, don't get too deep on me over here, but, you know, this is Coffee Talk. We keep it chill. So, whatever you want to say in the comments, I'll read that. But let me read the last topic, and this one is Nintendo President Tatsumi Kimishima explains why this is more about Furukawa again. Will be the next Nintendo president. So, this is even more information. So many interviews on this. People are so worried that Furukawa is just going to fuck everything up, but I don't think he is. But let's read what he had to say. Tatsumi says, I have my own thinking about why Mr. Yamachi, I think that's how you pronounce it, talked about being unusual when he named Mr. Iwata as president. Mr. Yamachi worked for more than 50 years in the game business, and he stubbornly stuck to his beliefs. Often to the detriment of Nintendo. He always felt that software is key to game business, and that creating this software naturally takes time and labor as well as money, and that you have to go all out and never quit. He also felt that the purpose of the hardware is to bring the best out of the software, and he never changed his thinking on this. I imagine he would say that a person who would readily bend Nintendo's core attitudes would be unfit for the job. In a sense, he was calling for a stubborn person, or as he might say, a thoroughly unusual person. My understanding is that he used that word to mean someone who would not change, no matter what other people or what other companies said, and would want to preserve any aspect that makes Nintendo different from the others. As to whether Mr. Furukawa is in any way unusual, I can just say he is extremely strong inner fortitude. He has clear and articulated opinions. He understands that Nintendo point of view, and he can express that to everyone in his own words. The corporate planning department, headed by Mr. Furukawa, has the important mission of conveying the Nintendo point to all employees, or the point of view to all employees, including people involved in development and sales, as well as people in other countries. It is important that the department remain on point no matter where the conversation leads, and he's been extremely competent at that. Another component has something to do with the fact that more than half of Nintendo's 5,500 employees work outside of Japan. It would be hard for anyone to lead Nintendo if unable to directly communicate their views to overseas workers, including those in important senior positions, or if they could not make decisions quickly and lack the capabilities to follow through. That is why I see Mr. Furukawa's overseas work experience as something that makes him a good choice for our new president. After Mr. Yamachi's presidency, there was a change in the environment surrounding Nintendo, where no longer could any single person decide matters on their own. That was the start of a collective leadership system that I, too, have carried on. In my view, Mr. Furukawa's role as president is to make the best out of the excellent people responsible for software development, hardware development, sales, and marketing. He must steer Nintendo as a whole and push for the points that must not change. The executive board resolved to choose Mr. Furukawa as the right person for that role. So, this is very interesting because I don't see Mr. Yamachi as an amazing president. I feel like he did a lot of things that hurt Nintendo with like third-party relations and stuff, but I don't think that's the part of Yamachi that he's talking about, because Yamachi, in a way, did have some good beliefs, like software is key to game business, very true, something Microsoft needs to desperately remember, and that hardware is, you know, always there to benefit software, not the other way around. So, in that way, I think they're taking everything that Yamachi actually did right, kind of getting rid of everything he did wrong and remembering those things. So they didn't mention anything like being anything I would see bad. Just mentioning Yamachi is just like, ooh, triggering. But I feel like they didn't talk about any of the bad points that he did, which makes sense. Why would they talk bad about their old president? But I also agree that the fact that he can speak English is very, very good, because communication is very key. As they said, communication is extremely important. So overall, from what we've seen from these different interviews, it seems his main goal is to keep the consumers first, to have fun, and to remember that, you know, they need the consumers more than consumers need them. So they were he seems very consumer friendly. He seems to want to do everything in benefit of the consumers while also running a good business. So far, like, from what I've heard of what he said about him and what Tatsumi said about him, I think he's going to be a great president. We won't know for sure until he actually, you know, is president in June and has been for a while, and we see the changes he makes. But I'm thinking he's going to be a good president. What were you guys saying in the comments here? This needs more likes. Thank you, Andres. It probably does need more likes. Please hit that like button, guys. I don't know. I don't even know how many likes it has. I can check. Whatever. Yeah, thank you guys for that like button. So let's see. The LA Noir with freaking naked body in it. Ah, they have LA Noir with a freaking naked body in it. Yes, they do. There was the teaser of the development of Pokemon and the direct of announcements of Mario Odyssey. What? There was a teaser of the development of Pokemon and the direct of the announcement of Mario Odyssey. No. There was a tease about Pokemon at E3 after Mario Odyssey was already revealed, and they were talking more about Mario Odyssey. But the January Direct where they revealed Mario Odyssey, they didn't talk about Pokemon at all. When is the next E3? That is in about 40 or so days on June 12th. It actually starts June 11th if you want to watch the Splatoon tournament, but the actual presentation is on the 12th, and then Treehouse is on the 12th through the 14th. Smash tournament's on the 12th, so. Pokemon Switch is slated. Does that comment get cut off? Hold on. Oh, no, you just didn't finish it. I thought it got cut off in my little comment viewer here. Next month. Yes, it is next month. 2018 or later. Yes, I think it's going to be 2018 in my opinion. But we'll see. We should know soon, either May or early June. Yes. Yes. Either this month or next month. We should know about Pokemon. Any new Pokemon spin-off games? Don't act like a Yakuza, LOL. Dude, that's totally what Yamachi did. He acted like Yakuza. Oh my gosh. Tatsumi kind of did too, but in a good way. Not like a douchey way. We could see a Pokemon spin-off game as well. But the new Pokemon game is a mainline one for sure. They've already confirmed that. So just in case anybody's wondering, like, is it a mainline game? Is it not? It is a mainline game. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for the topic. So if you guys don't have any more comments, I think that will be it for this topic. Coffee Talk. Had a good time. Talked about a lot of stuff that makes me very hopeful for the new president. I think he's going to do a good job. I think if he puts the consumers first and puts creativity and fun first, which is kind of what he said in his interview when he talked about what he wanted for the future of Nintendo, I think it's good. I think it's going to be a great president. I don't really have to worry about it. And so I'm pretty happy about how everything's turning out. And I think he might even be an even better president than Tatsumi Kimishima. But anyways, guys, thank you all for coming. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more Coffee Talks Monday through Friday. And if you're already subscribed, make sure to like and share my content so more awesome people can see it. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Azrith. Thank you, Andres Restart. Thank you, Nintendo Craft. Thank you, Tiny House Gamer. Did I miss anybody? If I missed anybody, thank you too. And I'll see all you guys later on What About Nintendo. Bye.